This is a butterfly knife. I've never used one before, but it looks fun and dangerous. I gave myself 10 hours to learn some basic and intermediate butterfly knife skills. The basic open, the Y2K, and the Zen rollover. My goal is to learn each of these skills separately and then practice them enough so that I can perform them one after the other without messing up. I have 10 hours starting now. Since I've never picked up a butterfly knife before in the past, let me know in the comments now if you think I'll be successful. And with that, let's start practicing. Hold up. Before we dive right into flinging this thing around our hands with reckless abandon, I should mention that this is a practice butterfly knife. What would normally be the sharp edge of the blade is totally dull. So unless this smashes into my thumb 100,000 times, then it's basically impossible for me to get hurt. If you're going to start practicing this skill too, I would recommend getting a practice knife and not a real knife. There's a link in the description to this one, which I love. It comes with a belt holster so you can always have your practice knife on you and look like a fool. You can also tell it's a good butterfly knife because it's easy to balisong your finger. Now, if you don't know, the butterfly knife is also called the balisong. So like this video if you liked my pun. You are contractually obligated to. All right, now let's start practicing. Learning the basic open was one of the easiest things I've done so far on this channel. You just hold on to the safe handle. Oh, by the way, the safe handle is the one toward which the back of the blade faces, so if the blade swings open and catches your fingers between it and the handle, you don't get grievously injured. The other handle is called the bite handle. So yeah, you hold on to the safe handle, flip the bite handle open, rotate the handle you're holding, let the back of the blade smack against the tiny bones in your hand, and then flip the knife the other way, catching the bite handle and inevitably pinching the fleshy, highly sensitive skin on your hand between the handles. Voila! Getting this down took about a minute before I could do it quickly and with fluidity every time. The cool part about this basic open is that it leaves you with the safe handle in your hand, so you can go ahead and reverse the movement to close the knife, getting another good jab in at those tiny bones on the back of your hand. Next up was the Y2K. This move starts with a pencil grip on the bite handle. It's much more complex because it involves letting go of the knife and letting it swing around your thumb. Then you get to crush a new bone in your index finger before flipping the knife up and catching the bite handle. This one took me a bit longer to get down. It was very easy to put too much oomph behind the initial swing, which would send the knife flying. And if I didn't put enough oomph behind it, it wouldn't make it all the way around my thumb. Within just about 10 minutes of practice though, I felt confident I could do this trick repeatedly. The final trick I had planned is called the Zen rollover. It starts with a pencil grip on the safe handle, and then you do the same open around your thumb as you do with the Y2K. The difference though is that when you catch the bite handle, the knife is spinning such that if you let it continue, you'll catch your finger between the sharp edge of the blade, or what would be the sharp edge of the blade on a real butterfly knife, and the bite handle. Hence why it's called the bite handle. It'll bite you. Instead, you catch the bite handle and swing the loose safe handle down and around your hand, redirecting the momentum to get the safe handle to swing into your hand instead of the blade. For this one, instead of breaking your metacarpals, you get the opportunity to throw the knife at the ground repeatedly and put dents in your brand new wood floor. This one involved more movements, so it took me about a half hour to get down. After that time though, I felt confident for what I thought was going to be my final challenge, getting all 3 tricks done smoothly in a row. Surprisingly, it only took me about 10 tries. I was super happy about that, so I decided to try it again just to make sure it wasn't luck. Sure enough, I nailed it again just a few tries later. So if you remember, I gave myself 10 hours to learn these tricks, and I got them pretty much mastered in just over 1. I decided to step up the difficulty of this challenge and try an intermediate trick which is much more challenging, called the sinister roll. So this is a more challenging intermediate balisong trick, and it requires some finger dexterity. You start in a normal grip holding the safe handle. You swing the bite handle out and give it a slight inward flick at the same time. You let the bite handle come up and around your index finger, inducing just the right amount of pain and discomfort. Then you wrap your middle finger around the bite handle, contort your fingers to spin the knife around, and let the momentum swing the bite handle up and over. Just be sure to get your ring finger in between the back of the blade and the safe handle, otherwise there'll be nothing to smash between them at ferocious velocity. Tuck your index finger under the safe handle. This is the most awkward part of any move I learned, and definitely the one that led to the most knife drops. One more finger smash for the road, and then flip the knife open, catching it in just the right way, where you remember how painful the skin pinching was in the basic open. This move took quite a lot of practice, but after about a half hour, I got comfortable to the point where I could do this consistently, and I called this added challenge a success. So that's that. Butterfly knife skills from beginner to intermediate learned in just over an hour. I had a lot of fun learning this skill, and while I made a lot of jokes about how painful it was, it really wasn't that bad. I have some tenderness in some parts of my hand, but the constant barrage of metal pieces whacking against my finger bones wasn't even enough to leave bruises behind. So provided you buy a practice butterfly knife and not a real one, this is a very safe skill to learn. And I think it's flashy enough to be worth the minimal effort that you have to put in to get good at it. Just make sure you get one with a belt holster so you can look super cool. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next challenge.